Hey, so I'm gonna make a quick video here. I got a Tokyo Marui Stanag mag here that has a different feed lip, and I was asked about how to disassemble the magazine to get to the feed lip to do it properly. I just I was like, you know what? Oh, fuck it, I'll do it. So, I got two TM Stanag mags here. You can kind of tell the difference between the two. As you can see, it looks like there is some stress here. It looks like maybe they when they were cutting the the seam, and kind of heated up, but not 100% sure on that. But in this case, this is the stock TM, and then this is with a unicorn feed lip. So I'm just gonna real quick show you how to disassemble one of these. So what tools you're gonna need? You're gonna need an Allen set, best to be metric. So I have metric here. This is a Husky kit. I got a punch set. So this is just one from Amazon, nothing crazy, and it came with this AR puck. I call it puck because it's kind of like cocky. And then I got inlet valve keys, and the outlet valve tool for removal. So first you're gonna, and actually I got these from Black Variable. So he had some spare fill valves, and also like what do we call these? Shit. Forgot what we called these, siphon tubes. So the whole point of siphon tubes is so you don't overfill your mags, but in this case it's trimmed down to have about an inch left of the silver piece. So I will be running that today. Let me also get away in on a complete empty mag, and keep in mind this mag, when you're doing maintenance, you're going to want to remove all gas in the mag. So one, you don't stink up your room and can cause some issues, and yeah, so okay, so I got my scale here. Let's see, we'll go to 0. Come on, Mr. 0. There we go. So I'm in grams at 0.0. So at empty, see, no gas, I'm at 454.4 grams. So it's always good to know what your mag is going to be at if you're going to be doing it before and after when it comes to certain parts like green gas mod. And then some variants will occur, like when applying lube to the O-rings and whatnot. So what you will need here is, I think, a number 2. We're first going to be removing the base plate to remove the BB guide spring. Oops. Here we go. Yep, so it's going to be another 2 millimeter. So what you want to do is put your finger over the base plate, because once those screws are completely off, your base plate can fly off and you can lose a couple pieces, or even potentially lose an eye. So, right. So once both screws are off, you want to slowly lift. There you go. There's the spring. Here's the plug at the very end that goes into this base plate. Right? Take the spring out, then tap it. In this case, that can stay in there, but okay. So next, I would grab something to hold up the magazine, so when you punch the pins out, it doesn't put a hole in your table or whatnot. Next, you're going to want to grab your punch set. So I got one here, just one slightly smaller than the pin. There you go. we go. Both pins are out, 2 screws, base plate, and guide piece, spring, and then we should be able to take this top piece off with no issues. And I'm going to flip it how the curvature is, the bottom piece is pointing to the right, because the bolt on empty pieces can fall out. There's nothing really retaining it other than the outer housing and some pins. So there you go. And then as you can see here, that's just with the gas I purged a couple minutes ago. In this case, it doesn't have the O-ring on it because the O-ring or the gasket is inside. So you want to take that out. And then as you can see here, this black piece is the BB guide plastic piece. So best to take it out so you don't lose it. Keep everything in order. I'm going to be playing with a lot of different tools. Oh, here it is. Okay. Okay. Once you take this out, make sure you don't lose the spring and a little plastic piece to help activate bolt on empty. There you go. That's your finger there. So see, there's a little spring and then a little plastic piece. So in this case, I'm going to just put in this box. This is a box of micro switches for mice. So, but just make sure you retain that. So if it for some reason pops out, the spring doesn't go far, the black piece doesn't go far. So next, we're going to put this to the side for right now. We're going to remove the fill valve and the siphon tube. So first, you're going to want the small tip. Keep in mind on how much force it takes to loosen it, and then it should account for also when you tighten it. There you go. So once you take the inlet valve, next you're going to want the outlet valve. The outlet valve key tool to remove the siphon tube. Take your time on it. It is a brass piece, and usually the tool is steel. Brass is going to be softer, so just keep that in mind. There you go, backed it out enough. Here's the siphon tube. As you can see here, there's a big difference in length. Black variable, I asked specifically if you can leave an inch left, so perfect. So this will be put to the side, and he's already cleaned up kind of the whatever adhesive it may have, or even so. There we go. And then I'm gonna grab some lube. I'm gonna lube around. I'm gonna push the O-ring down a little bit. Come on. There we go. I'm gonna lube around the threading real quick just to get that applied, and then gonna push the O-ring up. It feels a little dry. Then lube the O-ring. Because this one is not a moving part, so you kind of want it sealed, and then I would lube around the outer ring. Right. And then we're going to put this in. And I'm going to back it out a little bit until we hear a click or feel a click. There we go. Oops. Yeah, in this case, it's kind of like it doesn't hold well because it's very thin grooves to put your gas key in. Then firm grip on the mag. Okay. Next we're gonna, in this case, use the fill valve here. Gonna lube a little bit of the O-ring there. Grab your other inlet valve key. Okay, there we go. Got the click. Because you don't want to tighten this too much, or else you'll destroy the little O-ring that's next to the threading. There we go. There you go. So you can see here, not much. I don't know if you can see that in the light. Now, to get to the outlet valve, right? So we're going to move these two pieces, put to the side. And then this is one-sided. There's a knurled side of the pin that's retaining this valve blocker. So as in this case, you can kind of see it if you tilt it in the light that the knurled side is going to be on this side of the feed lips, right? So where you want to punch it is you're going to punch it from over here, where the the bolt catch on empty system lays down. So you're going to want to put it there. So grab the puck. Let's line it with a hole. There you go. Quick and easy. Make sure you retain the pin in a good area. As you can see, it's a knurled on one side. And you take this piece out. There you go. And then you'll see the outlet valve right there. It's the brass piece. So what you want to do is you want to grab your outlet valve key, and then you should be able to unscrew it. In my case, I can't, because the way Airsoft Masterpiece did their stuff. So I'm gonna need to get my other tool. There you go. So I have AIP, right? 2 outlet valves, 1 inlet. So in this case, I need the blue one. So go right in, put a lot of force once it aligns. Let's see, hopefully it does. Take your time on it, because it is pretty tight from factory. Not Loctite tight, but definitely when you don't have as much leverage, just holding the top piece. There we go. There you go. Outlet valve. And then next there are going to be 2 pins retaining the feed lips. So in this case, okay, so as you can see here, there are 2. So there's going to be one here and then one here. These are one-sided. This one's for sure one-sided. So what we're going to do, we need to make sure we have the right punch. So there we go. There you go, as you can see here, there's one, and grab the other one. This case, what we will do is, I have these nylon tubes. These are perfect to punch out kind of like a pin that's sticking out, or to punch it in. In this case, I need to align it properly. There we go, kind of sticking out now. And this side is also knurled. You can just pull it right out. There you go. So keep those 2 pins together, and then you should be able to just lift right up. There you go. Easy. So now, when it comes to reassembly, if you're installing a new, let's say, outlet valve, and maybe it's a Lilac specific one. The Lilac ones, they have like a window that's specifically pointing to one side, and in a way you can adjust it to output more or less gas from the outlet valve. In this case, this is 4 ways, so it doesn't matter how you orientate it, but the best way to, if you do have a Lilac one, you want to make sure that open window is facing up, so it has the least amount of resistance for the gas to travel. And then, of course, with the Lilac ones, you can adjust more or less of the window, kind of like how an end pass functions. So I'm going to screw it in. See, and at the same time, you can see the outlet valve turning. Should throw it in. It's getting tighter. There you go. And then you should kind of be able to rotate this a little bit. Let me see if I have a smaller tool. But at the same time, let me loosen it. Sometimes some models you have to loosen just to adjust how the valve holds. Damn it. Okay, I need a smaller pin. Okay, come on. Just whatever tools I have. Okay. This case, let's see. So you should be able to rotate the valve a little bit if you loosen. You should be able to rotate the window gaps if you loosen the outlet valve a little bit, right? And if you're happy with where it's located, I would put it in a good position so when you rotate it, the piece doesn't rotate with, the window doesn't rotate. Nope. But in this case, since it's quad, not too big of an issue. I think the Lilac one has some slight design differences, so they make it kind of free-flowing in a sense. Okay, as you can see, 2 dots are showing, so that's perfect. Make sure the valve is still working fine. Okay, cool. Next, some will come with a outlet gasket, some won't, so just make sure you install it first. Right. And then you're going to want to align to 2 holes. Looks like the okay, there we go. And then the gaskets kind of have these grooves. These kind of determine on what magazines are going into. Some are TM specific, of course. So in this case, this hole down here is aligning with these this groove down on the outlet gasket. So just want to make sure it aligns properly. Plug in. There you go. Because it shouldn't take a lot of force to reinstall these pins at all. It's in this case, this left pin will take a little bit once it reaches the knurled end. In this case, I can almost push it with my nail. But to make sure, I got this nylon piece just to flatten it flush. There you go. Right, and then the next one. Right, push it as hard as you can. And then it's flush. So when you reassemble the magazine, it doesn't, it shouldn't take much effort to slide this piece back into the housing. So next you kind of want to wipe this down. Just kind of to clear any potential residue. And then before we go to the gasket, we want to install the valve blocker in. So make sure you align the holes, and then make sure you have the knurled side at the correct side. As you can see here, have the knurled side under my fingertips. There you go. As you see, I can't push it in anymore, so I'm going to grab my nylon tube. Still not flat. There you go. Flush. Cool. And then next, we're going to want to clean the mag housing of any extra residue also. Now this is using a napkin is not the best option, but all my towels are getting washed right now, so can't do that. So next, what I like to do is I like to add a little bit of lube at the edges of where the O-ring would sit. Right, as you can see here, hopefully it shows well in the light. Right, I just like to add a little bit there to make it a little bit easier when it comes to reinstallation. Okay, there we go. And then first, I put some lubricant on the metal piece. There you go. Kind of not being too picky on how little I'm installing it, just kind of making sure it's all the way through. Next, the O-ring or the gasket, lay it in, right? And then you're going to want to lube the O-ring also. There you go. Looks like everything else is back together. So next, we're going to slide back in. Right. It'll be a little tight, so don't stress it when it comes to getting the first pins in. So when it comes to, oh, almost forgot the assembly for when on empty. So I put the back arm first, and then you're going to want to lay the other arm on top. There you go. Make sure that goes in. There we go. And now we're going to want to stick a pin in. Push in as much as you can. In this case, I'm pushing against my stomach. Want to get that first pin in. Then I'm going to play it slow. There we go. And then I do the other side. There we go. As you can see, kind of a line up. And I'm going to take it slow. And here, I want to grab my nylon so I don't scratch the rest of the housing, even though it gets scratched anyway from real use, but kind of reduce the chances from a weird scratchy spot. Alright, so that's not all the way in yet, so I'm going to align this next one. Put it on the puck. Then not in all the way just yet, so I'm going to take my punch and then just first side, then grab the second side. A little too much. Nothing too crazy. Nope, too much. There you go. Cool. Okay, there you go. In this case, if your BB guide piece didn't come out, let me see if I can get it out. All right, it's already ready right here. My dumbass. See here. So, how to reassemble this? You want to make sure this moving arm is aligned with the bulk on empty mechanism. As you can see here, the way I've aligned it. Right, you're gonna push it in, and then with it can be a tool, it can be a finger. In this case, I'm going to use my thumb. I'm going to push the arm in. Right. And at the same time, while pushing the arm in, you want to get the BB guide in, and there you go. Not much effort. And then, from how I disassembled this, it looked like the curled side is going to be pushing against the BB guide. Push it in, and then I'm going to use the puck. Then I'm going to use a screwdriver to align the spring and push it in as much as I can. Right. Voila. And then grab the black piece. You're going to want to try to put it into the spring. Right. Now you hold it with your finger, and then this is going to be a slightly tough spot. How I set it up is I'm going to fold it kind of like a book over the black piece. Right, take it slow. In this case, I'm holding two fingers. It's slightly offset, so I'm going to adjust it just a bit. Okay, it's closed kind of, but I'm a little worried about the black piece. There we go. Black piece is in. You can see here. Right, close it up. There we go. Put your first screw in. Tighten it a couple times. 1, 2, 3. And then make sure you get the other end. 1, 2, 3. There you go. Now you can just start tightening. And time to time, these screws can come loose, so adding just a little bit of blue Loctite is not a problem. In my case, I won't. I'll be messing around with this magazine. And then now I will. Everything looks good for right now. I will weigh this again with the new modified siphon tube, and everything dropping on my table because I have been very busy. I had time to clean. 0 in grams. 452.7 grams. Let's try it again. 452.7 grams. Okay, there you go. And we will check for leaking. For now, this is the worst case scenario. It's about 80 degrees outside in Fahrenheit today. So I'm gonna fill it with map gas. I mean, you shouldn't anyway since of the temperature, but There you go, start spinning. So understand MAP gas is a little heavier. It is a lot colder from all the way to about here. It's a lot colder. So now we will reweigh this. I wish I had propane, but I ran out again. So it's what, 452.8 grams. About 474.3. So it's about 22 more grams. From my findings, at least, as you can see here, 1 inch is left of the silver tube, right? 1 inch of the silver tube, about 22. So there you go. Also, no leaks. Yep, I don't hear anything. So, but sorry, I made this on the fly, so I do stumble with my words a lot. So I do apologize, everyone, as you can hear now. But if you have any questions, just reach out to me. You guys have a good one.